Hello there folks, Bonky here, aka your Lonely Achievement God, continuing our From 0 to 1000 Achievement Hunting series for Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc, the Anniversary Edition on the Xbox, with Chapter 3. As always, I am starting this off with a warning if you are trying to avoid spoilers, if you would like to, play through the game at your own pace. I do send us in the direction of information that could spoil what's going to happen next. So if you are looking to get your achievements as quickly as possible but don't want to be spoiled, check the description of the video for a link to my text walkthrough, which is spoiler free. I also have a text version of the spoiler full walkthrough, so make sure you pick the right one. But I did want to start every video I'd make with that disclaimer so I don't end up spoiling anything for you guys and gals. This is one of my favorite visual novels probably ever, so if at any point I can avoid spoiling some of the story for you, I'm going to attempt to do so. But as I've said at the beginning of all of our portions here, I'm here to help you get the gamer score as quickly as possible. So we are following an optimal path through the game, and doing so can spoil or at least give you an idea of what's going to happen next. So I want to try to avoid giving direct spoilers as much as possible, but if you are trying to avoid all spoilers, there is a text walkthrough on my website, and again, the link to that is in the description. We're going to go ahead and start with Chapter 3. Not so much differs from the last couple of chapters we've done, so we'll just go ahead and continue here. And Aoi is going to be very sad in her room, which, not really sure if this is appropriate, so we're just going to skip it. I think in reality, due to some time skipping stuff, they're actually all 18 in this, but it's close enough that it's kind of creepy. Don't get me wrong, I get that fan service happens, but creating characters to fan service them is a little weird. Anyways, we're going to end up, as you see here, we're in the dining hall. We'll have some dialogue, and just like before, we realize we have more of the school that has opened up to us. So eventually, we're going to leave everyone. Or everyone leaves us, and we're going to back out of the room here, and we need to get to the 3rd floor. There's 2 ways to do that. You can get to the 2nd floor by teleporting, or by using the first-person mode and walking around. We're going to teleport to the 2nd floor, and the stairs to the 3rd floor are straight ahead to our left. Very simple. Either way, when you come up the stairs there, you're going to spawn in that same spot right next to Yasuhiro. You can just run forward and take a left to get to the stairs to the 3rd floor. We got some more rooms to explore. So immediately walk forward and enter the room on your right. This is the rec room. Excuse me. You have a little talk with Celeste. And Monokuma shows up. We're going to back out now. And we're just going to follow this hallway all the way down. We're going to get to this corner, take a right, and we're going to enter the room on our left, which is the art room. Go ahead and chat to Hifumi, and we'll have a react point here for sculpting tools. Once he's done chatting, we're going to examine that door on the back wall. It leads to the repository, so we're going to go inside, and we're going to find a picture on the ground. You can kind of see it, what it is already, but go ahead and click on it to zoom in and get a good look at it. Weird. It's everyone who's dead. Well, not everyone, but everyone in that picture is dead. How are they all together. If you wanted to know, you probably wouldn't be following my walkthrough. But hey, it is kind of an interesting story. Once we have that picture done, we can leave the repository and then back out of the art room as well. And we're going to turn to our right, and there's a little hallway down here that we need to go in. Remember the right area here, this is the staircase up to the 4th floor. We'll come back to that, of course, later. But for now, we're going to follow this hallway to the left to the physics lab. First, we're going to chat with Taka here, who's still... Oh, I guess we're going to examine the machines. Sorry about that. Now we're going to talk to Taka, who is still reeling from Mondo's death. And then we're going to examine the air purifier. Once the dialogue is over, move your right analog to the left to swing your camera over and see a camera on the table. Interact with it. Now move your camera back so you can see the door on the back wall and interact with it. I don't know what this room is called, just a closet, I guess. Equipment room. Once we get in here, we automatically talk to Jack, and then we automatically go to the dining room to have our, group meeting. Allie is here, and we're drilling her as to why she had a stomachache but is now trying to eat. So go ahead and chat with her first. And then we're going to work our way right to left. There's Hifumi in the right corner. You can move the camera more if you need to. So we're going to chat with him and then react to anime characters. And now we're going to talk to Sakura. Now talk to Celeste. She's kind of hidden behind Sakura there, so might have to move the camera. Talk to Kyoko. You don't have to talk to Jack. Go ahead and talk to Taka. Quite the conversationalist right now. And go ahead and talk to Yasuhiro. And Jack will run off. We'll get a little more automatic dialogue here, and then we're going to have to talk to Celeste again. So go ahead, move the camera so you can chat to Celeste, and then react to Bothering Me. She's going to drill Allie about her stomachache. And we're going to have to chat with Allie again. I should just call her Hina. It's probably easier. So react to the truth here. And we're going to automatically go to the bathhouse changing room. Once we get in here, you're going to swing the camera so you can view the lockers on the right side, interact with them. You'll get quite a bit of dialogue here. And then we're going to need to examine the laptop once we regain control. Get a lot of dialogue here. And at this point, excuse me, if you've messed around with the Mono Mono machine and have gotten the, I believe it's called a man's fantasy present, a separate cutscene is going to trigger. So things could be different if you have messed around with that. If you don't have the item, don't worry about it. It's not really that big of a deal. We'll just have to play to this point later on once we do get that present. It's just one of those kind of borderline pervy scenes. Okay, it is a pervy scene. All the ladies go back into the spa, and if you have the item, you take a peek at them. Because of course you do. But we don't have the item, so we don't have the courage to do that, and we go to the dining hall. Eventually, the women will come join us. Interesting that Toko is actually in the picture that you get, but she doesn't show up in the dining hall after. Don't know why. Who needs events to line up? Gonna get another motive here. I think they're offering $10 million. Byakuya is like, that's not nearly enough. I make that in an hour. But the end of the day happens, we'll go back to our room and go to sleep. When we wake up in the morning, we're going to go to the dining hall, and then we have some free time. So head over to the dining hall, we'll get a little bit of dialogue, and then eventually we will end up back in our dorm room to work on some free time sessions. Actually, I think it's only one free time session. Go ahead and open your map. We're going to head to the rec room on the newly acquired third floor. And we're going to find Celeste in there. So go ahead and spend some time with Celeste, and don't give her a gift. That'll get you a report card entry. And you will automatically end up back in your room. Go ahead and interact with the front door. And then go ahead and interact with the front door again. Oh, sorry about that. Go ahead and leave. We're going to bring him to the bathhouse room. So just walk forward and turn to the right and interact with the, entry that has bath hanging over it. You'll get a bit of a scene here. We're doing something we really shouldn't have, but... And Taka levels up into Mondo Taka. We get caught by Kyoko. She's not happy with us. And we're going to go back to sleep. When we wake up, once again, we'll head back to the dining room. So go ahead, leave your dorm, head to the dining room, however you want. Once you get inside, we're going to chat with Kyoko. We're actually going to be sent over to the bathhouse, and then we'll talk to Kyoko. So go ahead and react to the same mistake. And once this dialogue is done, we're going to talk to Hifumi. We get a bit of dialogue here again, and it will result in us being back in our dorm room with 2 more sessions of free time happening. And we're going to find Sakura. Sakura's up on the 3rd floor. I didn't mention this to begin, but generally when you get 2 sessions of free time, the first session of free time, everyone is on the floor that you unlocked. And then the second session of free time, they tend to be around the dorm floor area. But we need to find Sakura. She's in the hallway near the classrooms up here. So go to this teleport point, or, just run and follow the stairs up. And once you teleport here, turn to your left to find Sakura. Go ahead and spend time with her. You don't need to give her a gift. And once it pops up, we're going to choose Mixed Martial Arts. That will end our first free time session. We'll go back to our room. And now we're going to get a second, and we're going to find Hifumi. Hifumi is in the warehouse on the dorm floor, so we're just going to go ahead and quickly teleport over there. And go ahead and chat with him. Although he gives off the appearance of being depressed, you don't have to worry about that. You can still spend time with him. You don't need to give him a gift. And you'll choose Circle when that dialogue option shows up. And once again, you'll end up back in your room. We're going to go to the dining hall, and then we'll have 2 more free time sessions. So, just however way you want, get to the dining hall. We'll have our morning meetup session and some dialogue. And then we'll go back to our room to get more free time. So for the first few free time session, we're going to go to the dining hall, and we're going to find Hifumi there. We're going to hang out with him again. Of course, we're not going to give him a gift. And then when it pops up, we're going to choose free for all. We'll go back to our dorm room for our second session of free time. And this time we're going to find Kyoko. Kyoko is right outside the bathhouse changing room entrance. So we're just going to leave our dorm room. And when we turn around the corner here, we'll peek at her. Hi. Okay, spend some time with Kyoko. And of course, we're not going to give her a gift. We'll go back to our room, and we get a knock on the door, I believe, and a note shows up. So go ahead and interact with the note. We'll leave the room and go to the dining hall, as the note says, and that'll get us murdered. I'm kidding, it doesn't. Or does it? I'm not spoiling anything, but it could be that I'm spoiling it. There's a note about Yasuhiro's handwriting, which is important if you are interested in the story. But we go to the bathhouse and have a lot of conversation. And now we're going to chat with Kyoko, who's standing by the lockers. We fall asleep, and when we wake up, we automatically go to the dining hall, and a lot of stuff happens. No one else shows up except for us four, so we just sit there for a while, and when no one still shows up for, I believe they wait like a half an hour, then they start to get suspicious, so we're going to go off and start looking for them. We go into the entrance hall here. Just go into the first two classrooms here. Really, you have to go into two different rooms. So you could run around and go into whatever two rooms you want. Just go into the first classroom, exit, then turn to your left and go into the second classroom. And exit. And that should trigger this scene. If it doesn't, just go into the AV room, which is down the hall, or the school store. Eventually this scene will trigger for you. And we automatically go into the rec room. And Celeste is injured. Go ahead and chat with her. And then examine the hammer on the ground behind her. After we do that, some other people will join us, and we have a bit more dialogue. And then we're going to have to react to serious problem when it shows up. And we're going to automatically move to the library after a bit more talking. Once we get into the library, you'll see Hifumi with some blood dripping down his head. So go ahead and chat with Hifumi. And then examine the hammer on the ground next to him. We got some more dialogue and scenes that happen here, and we're going to automatically go down to the nurse's office. We'll get some more scenes and dialogue here. If you can't tell, this is leading us to the next investigation. But this is a rather interesting one. Probably my favorite of the game, for sure. So we're going to be up on the second floor, and we need to run all the way to the other side. So just go straight ahead. There's a classroom on this back wall here. And go ahead and enter it, and then you can immediately leave it. And we'll get another scene. We jump down to the first floor, and we're going to run forward and enter the nurse's office, which is a pink door on the left with hearts on it. So go ahead inside. And Hifumi appears to be dead. Welp. No one's gonna miss him. My apologies if he's one of your favorite characters. He's one of my least favorite. There's the body announcement. And now we're going to examine the hammer. We actually don't need to even examine the body. We just examine the hammer. And we end up in the third floor hallway, and we need to go to the physics lab. But we're over by the rec room, so if you don't remember the way, bring up the map overlay. And we need to head to the physics lab, so take a right turn here, and then take a left here. And you'll get to the physics lab. And then we need to go into the back room, the equipment room. So head into that open door. And holy crap, Taka's dead. And now the investigation officially starts. Ufumi's dead in the nurse's office. Taka's dead up in the equipment room. Once you get control, investigate Toko. She's fine. She just passed out from the blood. And then examine the hammer on the left. we're automatically going to end up outside the physics lab, and we're going to need to run back along the hallway to the art room. And now the body is gone. I enjoy this one. But eventually we will regain control outside the physics lab and we'll need to run to the art room. So go ahead, and if you need the map, bring it up. But as I said, I know where everything is, so I'm going to head back to the art room here. And we're going to enter the art room and examine that back door in the back to find that it is locked. So we'll just leave the room. And I think we just need to enter 2 separate rooms, but there's only the physics lab down the other hall. So we're going to run down this hallway, enter the rec room. And then we're going to back out. And we're going to turn around and enter one of the classrooms back here. Back out again. And Celeste will pop up in front of you. And we need to return to the art room. Once you get to the art room, interact with the door at the back again. And both of the bodies are laying there in the back room of the art room, the repository somehow. And the investigation actually begins now. Once you regain control, we're going to interact with the wall of hammers at the back. There we go, finally. Interact with the wall of hammers. Interact with Taka's body here. And interact with Hifumi's body. If you are following along with the game legitimately, feel free to chat with Sakura. You'll get a kind of summary of everything that's happened. If there's, if you're feeling a bit confused, it's not a bad idea to talk to Sakura. You don't need to advance anything, though. So we're going to interact with the dolly, the cart on the ground by Sakura's feet. Then we're going to scroll over and interact with Hina here. Then we're going to scroll back over and talk to Byakuya. I do apologize for butchering his name, but for whatever reason, my tongue does not want to say that name properly. Byakuya. We're going to try to leave the room, and we'll get a clue for doing so. And then we're going to leave for realsies. Go ahead and leave the art room, and we need to return to the physics lab. So turn around and head down this hallway and hang a left. To go to the physics lab. Once you get in here, we're going to examine the hammer on the left. Examine the blood on the ground. Examine the stack of tarps on the right. And talk to Genocide Jill, or Jack, over here. And now we need to go to the nurse's office on the first floor. So go ahead and get there either by teleporting or running, whatever way you want to. Scroll to the left or right, and we need to interact with this trash can. Go ahead and interact with the hammer here. And then scroll your camera so you can interact with the refrigerator over here. Now go ahead and chat with Celeste. And now we need to go back to our dorms. I'm not entirely sure if we can actually teleport here. We cannot. It will not let you. So you're going to have to back out of the room and walk over there. Because there's a scene that happens. Yep, sometimes it just won't let you because of that. So turn around and we're going to run back this way to the gate that leads to the dorm floor. Run straight ahead, and we need to find Yasuhiro's room. It's all the way on this back wall. It is the third door here. So go ahead and interact with it to go inside. It's conveniently open. He has a lot of junk. Go ahead and interact with the cardboard boxes. And once you have interacted with the boxes, we can leave the room. Once we get outside the room, we're going to automatically be brought to the pool, which we haven't actually been into the pool room itself yet. And we're going to zoom in on our classmates over here. Hey, Kyoko exists. Go ahead and chat with Kyoko. And we found Robo Justice, who happens to be Yasuhiro, whom we also have not seen for a while. We're going to get a lengthy bit of conversation there, and now we're going to chat with Yasuhiro. It automatically kicks us out to the entrance to the locker rooms. And we need to head, excuse me, to the art room. I don't think you can teleport here, but we'll double check. wasn't letting me. So we have to turn around. So back up and turn around and go to the third floor steps. And we'll just run all the way there. And then interact with the back door to go into the repository. Go ahead and talk to Kyoko. Examine Hifumi's body here. Talk to Kyoko again. And this is going to be the end of things. We will be brought to the infamous red door to begin the trial. So go ahead and run forward and interact with the door, and then after some more scenes, we're going to interact with the elevator grate again to head down into the courtroom. Go ahead and save in a new slot. We're not going to bother setting any more skills or anything like that, so go ahead and hit finish preparations, and we're going to jump right in. Again, it's very similar to the other trials. There will be some small things that might change, especially depending on if you're on easy or one of the higher difficulties. But our first truth bullet needs to be Yasuhiro's message. And we're going to fire it when Celeste says blueprints. Our next answer will be a multiple choice answer, hero. And then we have two evidence selects. First one is going to be the blue tarp. And the second one will be the repository dolly. And we're going to have our bullet time battle happen early on here. On easy, you're just going to have to keep doing what we've been doing, A and Y. On the higher difficulties, you're now, maybe not on normal, but on hard, you're going to have 6 bullets only. And you're going to have to learn to reload with the X button. If you are on the higher difficulty, I recommend trying to do 2 or 3 statements at a time and reloading after. And you can use fever time as needed too. Use it often. In fact, spam it and immediately when it comes back, use it again. As long as you're generally watching out for reloading when you're not using fever time, and fever time, using it whenever you have it, you should be able to get through on hard as well. But we're on easy here, so we're just going to be alternating the A and Y buttons. I do apologize for that. I do want to try to cover for people who are playing on different difficulties than we are. If you want to read about that difference, feel free to. But on easy, we don't really have anything to worry about. Just alternate A and Y. And then when the bullet pops up, press Y to fire it. And we'll go back to the normal trial existence. The next truth bullet we need is Robo Justice Costume. We're going to fire it when Hina says bend over. We're going to have a multiple choice answer after this, and we'll need to choose you can't take it off by yourself. I apologize for that. My controller just fell off the couch and disconnected my mic, so hopefully everything is working. We need to choose you can't take it off by yourself. The next non-stop debate we get will be we need to absorb a bullet, so we're going to absorb the what order statement from Hina. Finally, we get to the non-stop debate. So when Aoi/Hina says what order, we need to hold the Y button to absorb it for a truth bullet. And then when Hina herself says the numbering, that was interesting. I guess my button must have stuck. So we'll try this again. Absorb what order, fire it at the numbering. There we go. Not sure why that didn't work the first time. We're now going to get the Hangman's Gambit minigame up next. The word is wristwatch. WRISTWATCH. Obviously, depending on your difficulty, you might have different letters. We need an I, an S, an A, and an H. And there we go. So for this non-stop debate, we need to absorb another statement. This time we need to absorb someone else's discovery from Kyoko. So we're going to have to cycle back to where Celeste says, dead body had been found. So go ahead and fire it at that statement. We're going to have a multiple choice answer here. When both bodies were rediscovered. Going to have another non-stop debate here, and we're going to need to choose the Hifumi's glasses bullet, if it's not already selected for you, and fire it when Celeste says was no notable difference. So we'll go ahead and get that taken care of. Next, we're going to have an evidence select, and we're going to need to select the glasses cleaning cloth. So go ahead and submit that. We're now going to have a multiple choice answer, and the answer is going to be Hifumi. Another evidence select. We need the note Hifumi had. And we're going to have another multiple choice answer. And that is Taka. Another non-stop debate. Choose the broken wristwatch. Truth bullet. And we're going to fire it when Toko or Jack say nothing to do with TikTok. And there we go. More dialogue, but our next sequence is going to be an evidence select. And we're going to select Kiyotaka's scrap of paper. Another non-stop debate here. We need the spotless hammer truth bullet. And we're going to fire it when Yasuhiro says one of the justice hammers. Little dialogue will happen. We'll get another non-stop debate, and we're going to have to absorb a statement in this next one. And we need to absorb 2 murders when Kyoko says that. So hold Y to absorb that. Excuse me. And then we're going to say, or fire that when Celeste says impossible. Next, we're going to have to scroll and select one of our classmates. And scrolling left is the quicker way to get you to Celeste. So hit A on Celeste. We're going to have a multiple choice answer, encountering the suspicious individual. Excuse me. I'm sorry, when I've been recording these, my throat has not been doing well. We're going to have another non-stop debate coming up here. And it's another one where we have to absorb a statement. So when Byakuya says so strange, we're going to hold Y to absorb it. And now we're going to fire that when Celeste says those guys. I think that's like the 6th. Couple more things left before the end of this trial. We're going to have a multiple choice answer coming up. The answer is Hifumi is dragging the suspect away. Another non-stop debate. We need the Robo Justice costume truth bullet. And then we're going to fire it when Celeste says stand up straight. Another multiple choice answer is going to pop up. The answer is going to be he said people's last names. So confirm that, and we're going to have one more non-stop debate here. We need to fire the e-handbook truth bullet. So go ahead and select that. When Celeste says, no way to contradict me. We now have to do the closing argument manga/comic sequence. So I will show you how to do that, or you can also use the reference that I've put up on my website if you prefer having text for it. But again, it's going to go right to left, and we need to choose the right circles in the right spot. So the first one is the side profile of Hifumi's head. So go ahead and drop that in the correct spot. The second one is the clock, not the wristwatch. The clock has numbers on it, so put the clock into slot 2. We're going to move on to slot 3, is Yasuhiro scratching his head. We're going to move on to slot 4, which is the killer holding the camera. Slot 5 is the wristwatch, not the clock. The wristwatch, of course, does not have any numbers on it. Move on to slot 6, which is hammer number 4, covered in blood. Slot 7 is hammer number 2, which is clean. Slot 8 is hammer number 3, also covered in blood. Slot 9 is Hifumi pushing the dolly. And the final slot is the numberless hammer that has some blood on it facing you. Easier to just look at the screen and see what it looks like. Once you have all of them placed, you can run through the sequence. I apologize if you heard me drink some water, but going to be trying to do the next chapter right after this one, so hydration is important, folks. And that is the end of the trial. We did pretty good. 1290 got us 82 coins. We're going to have some scenes and some dialogue as always. And we'll get some backstory as to how she manipulated everyone to do what they did. All Celeste wants is for dozens of handsome men to be her servants. I mean, who doesn't want that? We got a few more things to do before the end of the chapter here, so she tells us about a room in the boys' bathroom on the second floor. So we automatically spawn in the second floor, and we're going to run up to the boys' bathroom here. You're going to examine the farthest stall in the back. It can be kind of hard to interact with it. You may have to move your camera. Sometimes you can get it from the entrance, sometimes you can't. And then interact with the back wall of the stall, and you'll see a secret room. We're going to interact with the bookshelf once we get control of our character here. And then we die. Game over. Oh, wait. They kept us alive. When we wake up, examine the bookshelf again. And on our way back, we're going to notice some extremely loud noises coming from the gym. So we're going to go ahead and examine the door to the gym. to find out some information that's going to play a big part in Chapter 4. And that brings us to the end of Chapter 3. So I'm going to close out this video and then rejoin you in the next. As always, if you have any questions for me, reach out. I'll do my best to answer them. Go ahead and save in... you can save in the same slot you used for the pre-trial prep. Before we go any further, however, I am going to do a quick achievement check because saving will just advance us. And so we should be at 8 out of 38 achievements for 140G. Go ahead and save in whatever slot you want, and I will see you guys in the Chapter 4 video.